live in number 6 district. I live in with my parents.
Okay.
Oh, no, with my families. I I got two daughter.
Oh, beautiful. How old are your daughters?
uh, the others uh 13, 13 years old,
Okay.
and others and one's 7 years old.
Oh, nice. In between I have a little sister and it's her birthday next week. She's turning 11 years old. So I understand raising little girls. It's such a beautiful process.
Yes,
Um,
thank you.
you're so blessed. Thank you very
uh,
much. How
can
old?
you can you speak Vietnamese?
Chup chup, huh?
Chút chút hả?
So my partner is Vietnamese, so I am fortunate because living with someone that is Vietnamese helps you to learn Vietnamese. And I eat Vietnamese, I cook Vietnamese, I live like Vietnamese, and I think we share two different cultures, which is really nice. And I love the Vietnamese culture.
What's this? What's this you like?
What dish do I like?
Yes.
So many. Obviously, pho. Um, there's a really nice place in Bintan, my favorite pho, but I have to drive, and now I can't. Nobody can have pho or boho or anything now. It's so frustrating because we can't. So we're very excited to be able to leave the house and go and eat some good food. But yeah, I love boho as well. Boho reminds me of winter food in South Africa. We have a similar flavor that we eat instead of with noodles. It's a bit thicker. The liquid is a bit thicker, so we eat it with rice, like a curry, and that reminds me of my home in the winter. So that's why it's one of my favorite foods. So yeah, tell me, Leah, how old are you?
Mm, you guess. You guess.
Um, I guess 36.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
what?
Wait, you have a 13-year-old kid. So maybe 40?
40? 40? Oh,
40?
yes.
Okay, very nice. Mr. Dang,
Yeah.
tell me about yourself.
Okay, my name Dang and I'm 33 years old.
Okay, 38.
No, 33.
Oh, 33.
Yeah.
Cool. And you live in Da Nang?
My homeland in Da Nang. Now I live in Ho Chi Minh.
Okay.
And I work here. Now
What?
I work for construction company.
Okay. And what is your job title in the construction company?
I do on curtain walls. It's related to glass, aluminium, and structure, steel structure, something like this.
Very nice.
And yeah, I'm married. I have two daughters too.
How old are your daughters?
One is 8 years old, and the other is 3 years old.
Oh, I see you got a baby, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, hard work.
Yeah.
But it's worth it in the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you.
I love football and go and traveling.
Yeah, where's your favorite place to travel?
Chinese.
Pardon?
China and Singapore.
Yeah, I love Singapore. I've never been to China, but I've been to Singapore. It's very expensive for one, but it's so clean and everything works, which is great.
Yeah.
It's
busy country.
Yeah,
Singapore.
Okay, cool.
And I saw China is very beautiful country. If you go,
I know, absolutely.
Go there.
I
go to Shanghai.
Shanghai is like Dubai of China, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prosperity country, prosperity place.
Yeah. I know some people have such a negative feeling towards China, but it really is a beautiful country.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. Thank you for your information.
Okay.
Dugan, your turn. Your microphone's muted.
Turn on the mic. Turn on the mic.
I'm sorry. My name is Dugan and I'm living in Bình Dương province.
Oh yeah? How's it going in Binyong?
Yeah. I'm 17.
Yeah. You're 17, you're high school, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah? What grade are you in?
11.
11. It's a nice place to be. It's a time of your life.
Yeah.
Start thinking about your future now. So, tell me, how are you coping with not being able to see your friends and staying indoors? How's that been for you?
Can you speak again?
Yeah, sure. So, guys, if I speak too fast, please don't be shy to say slow down, because sometimes I get excited and then I speak too fast. Okay. So, I asked, how has it been for you to be in lockdown, to not see your friends, to not go outside? How are you doing in lockdown? With COVID, not being able to go outside, it's difficult, right?
I'm just stay at home and
You seem to be shy, huh?
yeah.
Don't worry. You'll get to know me and we can chat, and I'm a very friendly guy. I am a type of person that I talk about everything. They say in English, I have no filter. Because I believe that honesty in communication, you create a better relationship with people if you speak. I speak about the things that nobody wants to speak about. And I think that brings me closer to the people that I talk to, because a lot of people are shy, like you, Mr. Dukan.
Yeah, I can feel this.
Yeah, and I think it's going to make us have a really great relationship, because I'm not just going to be your educator and your teacher. I also want to be someone that, you can call if you need something, or one day we go for a cup of coffee, or, we go for Korean barbecue or whatever.
Yes.
It's important to me to be able to, it's also a way to get our lesson going. So to be able to communicate with each other, to be honest with each other. When you don't understand something, you don't need to be shy. Okay. Just be like, hey, Chris, whoa, stop, man. You're going too fast. Or I can't hear you, or whatever. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. Just part of my introduction is to show you where South Africa is. Now, if you look, Vietnam is up there. South Africa is at the bottom of Africa, but it's not just the south of Africa. Our country's name is South Africa, like Vietnam. It's the actual name. It's not just the south of Africa. And I like to share that with people, because a lot of people don't understand that. And it's really far away from Vietnam. So for me to get to South Africa or back to Vietnam by airplane, it can take like 36 hours in total of traveling. So that just puts it in a better understanding of how far we are. And that distance also shows a difference in our cultures, because distance does. Your neighbors, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, they all have similarities in your culture. My culture is completely different, but I understand Vietnamese culture, and I try my best to understand what Vietnamese culture. I think I'm pretty good. So I know that the one thing in Vietnamese culture is you're very direct. You know, my partner's grandmother always says to me, Mapua, you're getting nice and fat. And in foreign or Western culture, if you call somebody fat, it's an insult. You will offend them. They'll be like, oh, that person said I was fat. But in Vietnamese culture, it's not to make you feel bad or offend you. It's just being direct and honest. So this is something that I really appreciate about Vietnamese culture. But let's move on to past the introduction and look at our lesson. Today we are going to title of the chapter is choices. Okay, so if you look at the two pictures and read the captions, let's take a look. So, who would like first caption?
Chris, your sound is not so good. I can hear you.
There is a background noise happening. Let me try this.
Yeah, something noisy.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, I've muted all of you. I think it might be Dugan. Dugan, do you have a fan on? Any of you have a fan on? It's your fan that's making the noise. So I'm going to keep you muted for now. And then when it's time to speak, just remember to unmute yourself, okay? All right. So if we're looking at these two pictures in front of you, we have two very different situations. Can you see the two pictures? Yeah. Mr. Dang, can you read the caption, the white text underneath the first picture for me, please?
The caption of the first picture?
Yes, please.
Chiricahua National Monument in Chiricahua Mountains, Arizona, USA.
Exactly. So Chiricahua National Monument in Chiricahua Mountains in Arizona in USA. Miss Lei, could you read the second caption for me, please? You unmute.
Crowded housing developments in Phoenix, Arizona, USA.
Yeah, so crowded housing development in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix.
Phoenix is a bird, but it's also an area in Arizona. So if we're looking at these pictures, Dugan, what is the first picture, the picture on the left? What is that picture? What does it tell you?
I think I see 3 people on a mountain.
And do you think it's peaceful?
Yeah, and I think the forest.
If you look carefully, it's actually not a forest. It's a very dry area. They are rock formations. It's all rocks that they've piled on rocks. So it's not trees. Arizona is a desert. And if you look in picture number 2, Mr. Dang, can you tell me something about that picture?
The picture is very special. You can see the big streak is cross and all the streak is circle.
Yeah. And what kind of environment do you think that is? Do you think it's urban or do you think it's rural? So do you know the difference between urban and rural? Urban and rural. So urban means city or residential, and rural means maybe open land like farmland or desert land where there's not a lot of buildings. So urban, we talk about maybe city life or where there's a lot of buildings, and rural, farmland, desert land, open land. Okay, so in picture 2,
it is floral because I have no high building.
Yeah, but it's still an urban area because people live there.
Oh.
So when there's buildings and people live there, it would be urban. And picture number 1 would be rural because there's no buildings and people don't live there. Yeah.
Can you write type for me?
Yeah, sure. Put it in chat.
Yeah. Open.
My Teams is a bit slow. It's coming. There we go. Open. Let's call it residential or city where people live, and rural is
Urban.
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 And rural is open land. Okay, so picture 1 would be rural area because it's a national park, and picture 2 would be urban environment. Okay.
Okay.
Dugan, what does the first picture say to you about Arizona and the second picture say to you about Arizona? Look at the pictures carefully and try and figure out something about Arizona as an area.
Pictures 1 is rural. I say the sunshine and a big cloud.
What do you think the weather is like in that area? Do you think it's hot or cold?
I think it's hot.
So Arizona is a desert area, right? So it is a very hot and dry area. And if you look at picture 2, there's not many trees, even though there's a housing development. There's not many trees. You can see the sand around the houses. Okay, so it's not a very natural, wet, beautiful place. Which picture, Miss Le, do you think is a better picture or a better environment?
I like the first pictures. I feel relaxed, and I like natural places.
Me too. What about you, Dang?
No. I think the same with Mikle.
You also like open areas.
You like open. You know, the more people live, and people can hurt the environment.
Exactly.
Right.
Dan, what do you prefer? Do you like busy or calm?
What?
Which picture do you prefer? What kind of lifestyle do you like more? Do you like a busy lifestyle in a city, or do you like a lifestyle in an open, empty area more?
I like city.
So those 2 pictures, do you like the picture number 2 more?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You see, you're still young. Hopefully you will travel and you will see big city. I mean, like Saigon is a big city. In fact, if you didn't know this, New York City is smaller than Saigon. So Ho Chi Minh City has 12 million people and New York City only has 10 million people. Interesting fact. I didn't know that until I moved here. When I moved to Vietnam, I was expecting rural, empty waterfalls, quiet places, and now I live in this crazy busy city. That's why I love Da Nang so much, because it's a city, but it's not too busy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I like a farm. If I have enough money, I will buy a open land and plant some trees.
That's
Have a farm work. Be a
So-
farmer. You're very good.
I'm going to be a farmer.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm working to save money so that at the end of 2022, I can buy a piece of land in Portugal. And Portugal is a really beautiful country. It's one of the oldest countries that exist, and their land is really cheap. You can buy like up to about 3 hectares of land, which is 30,000 square meters. It's big, for 15,000, 20,000 euro. So you're talking times 30. So between 300 and 500 million dong, you can buy a farm.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. I like your thinking. Quiet, peaceful. Okay. We're going to be watching a video in this presentation after this. So let's match each word to their definition so that when we watch the video, you can have a little bit more understanding of the words and the terms that they use in the video. You are welcome to use a dictionary if you don't understand, or yeah, you can even use the computer dictionary. But let's start with you, Duc Anh. Number 1, what is the correct word to use for something we leave for future people to have or own? Do you know what that is? Something you think about more when you're getting older. So, like, it would be something that you want to leave behind maybe when you die, for your children or for the people, you know? And that's something when you get older, you start thinking about. Miss Le, do you know what that word is?
Please pardon.
Try that again.
Yes.
Which one?
Yes.
Oh, so number 1, which word do you think is something we leave for the future people to have or own? Can you pick one word here? So it's choice, generation, legacy, profound, extraordinary, image, memories, or wonder. Do you know the word for leaving something for people?
I think please.
You think? Which one?
Oh, I think legacy. I think legacy.
It's legacy. Is that what you were going to say, Duc Anh? Yeah. So a legacy is, you know, so that you are not forgotten. Like Bác Hồ, he left a legacy. He will always be remembered. Like Nelson Mandela will always be remembered. Somebody that has left something behind. They've done something, you know, maybe very dramatic in life, and they've left their change behind. So that's a good one. Well done. Number 2, Mr. Dang, a picture or a view.
Image.
Yeah, exactly, an image. Number 3, Duc Anh, people born around the same time. What do we call that group of people?
Generation.
Absolutely. What generation are you? Do you know?
Gen Z.
I don't know. You're 17, so Gen X, right?
Gen X, yeah.
Okay. I think I scrape past millennial, like a little. I think I'm too old to be a millennial though. Do you guys, Led, do you know what generation you are? She's a bit stuck there. What about you, Dan?
I don't know. It's H.
H. Question mark. Question mark. Le, it seems you have some trouble with your signal, maybe your Wi-Fi. So yes, generation. Okay.
Oh,
Number 4.
I think memories.
Absolutely. What one remembers about the past is a memory. An adjective, very strong in feeling or emotion. This is a tough one. Mr. Dang, do you know what this one is?
Uh,
A very strong feeling
Emotion.
or emotion. Extraordinary.
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 Yeah, that's better.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary.
Extraordinary is something else. Anyone else?
Extra.
Profound. Profound.
That's one. Profound. Profound means like wow kind of feeling. So I have a profound love for milk tea. You don't understand. I have to have tea 3 times at least per day. If I don't, it's just a love. It makes me feel better as a human being just to have a nice cup of tea. I have a profound love for it. So a profound love means a very strong feeling or love. Sorry, guys. Can you give me 1 second? For some reason, I don't have my charger here. I'll be back.
Amazing.
My apologies about that, but we're charging again. Okay, yeah. So profound means a very strong feeling or emotion. Number 6, amazing, uncommon, or unusual. We said it earlier. Miss Le.
I think that's ordinary.
Yeah, exactly.
Extraordinary.
So break that word up to make it easier to pronounce. We talk about ordinary, right? Something plain or normal. And then you just add extra in front of it. So extraordinary. Generation X, they refer to some people as being extra, being very loud. People refer to me as being extra because I'm very loud and I am very present. I am an extraordinary kind of person. But yeah, so today's modern terminology, the acronym or abbreviation, it's an acronym where you shorten a word for extraordinary would be extra. Okay, number 7, to express interest in knowing something.
Wonder.
Yeah. I wonder.
How?
And then number 8, the power or ability to choose something. There's only one last answer, and that would be choice. Okay. So we all have a choice in life. And our older two in the class know that it is your choice to be in a situation. I have a tattoo on my leg that says serenity, courage, and wisdom. And it's all about choice. It's you have to be peaceful. You have to have serenity. It's actually a prayer, but I don't see it as a prayer. I see it as logic. And it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the wisdom, the courage to change the things that I can change, but the wisdom to know the difference between the things you can change and you can't change. And these are choices. So if you are in a job that you hate going to work in the morning, you have the choice to change your job. But if you have a situation that you cannot get out of, you still have a choice, because you can choose how to manage that situation to make it better for you. Or you can sit back, and your choice to sit back and take whatever is coming in your direction. And I live my life by that. If you don't like something, change it, because you have a choice. Everything is a choice. And that's what this unit is all about. Okay, so have you guys got some paper and a pen? If you do, I'd like you to please draw a table like this one. So 2 rows, 1 and 2, and then part 1, and then make the title Images, and the next one, Feelings about the United States. So this is so that we can make notes about the video we're going to watch. You all have paper and pen?
Yeah.
You know when you're ready. You ready? Okay. So make notes of the images that you see. Just the images. We'll talk about your feelings later.
The past year, I have made a journey across this country. I was quite amazed by what I saw. I had never imagined it would be like this. This is the legacy we have created. This is the image of our home we present to the world. I think of future generations and their feelings encountering scenes like this. This is what many places in the country look like. These views, these scenes, these are the memories I will carry with me forever. It has been a profound experience traveling here. It has made me look at my land in new ways. My expectations have met the reality of this country, a reality hard to describe, extraordinary to experience, impossible to forget. I can only wonder, will this ever change? The choice is ours.
You guys managed to make some notes on the images that you saw? Listing the images? Okay, let's watch part 2.
The past year, I have made a journey across this country. I was quite amazed by what I saw. I had never imagined it would be like this. This is the legacy we have created. This is the image of our home we present to the world. I think of future generations and their feelings encountering scenes like this. This is what many places in the country look like. These views, these scenes, these are the memories I will carry with me forever. It has been a profound experience traveling here. It has made me look at my land in new ways. My expectations have met the reality of this country, a reality hard to describe, extraordinary to experience, impossible to forget. I can only wonder, will this ever change? The choice is ours.
Same story, but two very different stories, right? Ms. Lea, what kind of pictures did you see in part 1? Your microphone?
I see the picture first. The girl sits on rocks.
Mm-hmm. What other pictures did you see that stuck with you? Did you make notes? She's a bit stuck there. Mr. Lang, what did you see in picture 1? In part 1? Microphone.
The picture 1 is the girl on the rock, and it makes me feel very peaceful.
Yeah, part 1 was quite peaceful. There were some really beautiful images. Sorry about the resolution. I couldn't find the higher resolution from the textbook. This was the only resolution I could find. What other pictures did you see?
The road.
Yeah.
There's a bear, 2 bear, and in the beach, the girl in running is big.
Yeah. Okay. Dugan, tell me what you saw in part 2.
I saw traffic jams.
Yeah.
A lot of cars. I also saw the fast food hamburger.
Hamburger.
And pollution, air pollution, and I think water pollution.
Yeah, water pollution, land pollution. I saw there was a whole bunch of trash.
Yeah.
So if we had to talk about how part 1 makes you feel, right? Ms. Lea, how do you feel about part 1? How do you feel about America? That America, part 1 America.
I am feeling relaxed and very quiet and a beautiful natural places.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It's beautiful and it's natural and it looks clean. It looks like a place that we want to go to, right? A place that you want to take your children to and let them experience this beauty. Mr. Dang, how do you feel about part 2? How does that make you feel about America?
The first thing I get from the part 2 is the trust, a lot of trust, and is busy in the busy work, busy life.
And is that somewhere that you would like to take your family to on vacation?
No, I don't like to take my family, my children to like that place. Something like mountain, beach, or something like very, very, very peaceful in nice weather.
Do you think, Dukan, do you think that you're a young man, if you had to go to part 2 America, what would you learn from that?
Uh,
Fun.
uh, I I think I will learn about don't throw the trash. Um, it's
That
make
word, by the way, to throw trash is litter. Okay. So litter means to throw your trash on the floor outside. Don't do that. Okay, so what do you think, Dugan, if you had to, which one would you like to go to, part 1 or part 2?
It's part 1.
Part 1.
Yeah.
So the lesson that I took away from this was that, yes, we have so many in all places in the world, and I've seen this everywhere except Singapore. Only Singapore is the cleanest place I've ever seen in my life. But most other places, including Vietnam, have got beautiful parts of their country, but they've also got horrible, polluted parts of their country. You know, the one downside, the one negative for me about Vietnam are the beaches and how dirty the beaches are. There's so many beaches, beautiful beaches, but the trash just, Con Dao has, it's beautiful, but the trash on the island beaches is just so much. So this video taught me that every country has their positives and their beauty and their negatives and their ugly, right? And if you had to take your children or take yourself to go to a country, you need to pay attention to both sides. And you need to learn these lessons of, yes, it's important to go and see the beauty, but yes, it's important to learn what not to do. Like you said, you learn not to litter, okay? Not to throw your garbage on the floor. So those are valuable points. Now, let's talk about bias. Critical thinking. Do you guys know what the word bias means? Can anyone explain the word bias? No?
Bias.
Yeah, bias. So bias, before we go into the reading and stuff, bias means when you are leaning towards, your feelings lean towards something that is not always fact. So this can be so many different situations. In the workplace, maybe you are a female, an empowered female boss, so you feel that it's important to hire women in your business and you don't hire men because you are biased towards women. Okay? That's what I talk about leaning. You are biased towards something or you are biased against something. So leaning, again, another example for bias towards something would be same-sex marriage, right? A lot of people think, yeah, cool. Everybody has the right to love who they want to love. But they're also, and that means that they will allow that into their lives. So some wedding venues will allow same-sex marriage. But other wedding venues don't feel that is, they're against that. So they don't allow same-sex marriage in their area, in their wedding venue. Okay? And this is bias. So they're making decisions based on their feeling instead of based on fact. And there are different kinds of bias. So you can have discrimination, you know, as we look at what's just happened in America and how people have become they discriminate, they become racist towards any Asian people because they say that China made, Asians made COVID-19. It's not fact. It is not fact, but they are treating people differently because of this is how they feel. They are biased against Asian people because they feel that Asian people created COVID. But we all know that's not fact. It's not clever thinking. Okay, so let's have a read. Who of you would like to read for me today? Mr. Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. Critical thinking, understanding bias. You can start at bias.
Bias is believing that some people or ideas are better or worse without thinking about the fact. Many sources, reports, news, diagrams, many have a bias. They may use photos of stories to create the stories they want. It is important to be aware of bias and always look for a variety of sources when thinking about any issues.
Yes, very nice. So let me just help you a little bit quickly on some grammar. This is variety.
Oh, variety.
Variety.
Right.
Variety. The strike on syllable 2.
Yeah, so 3. Variety. 4. Variety.
Oh.
Yeah, and then
Diagrams.
Diagrams, yeah, 3 syllables. And then this, etc., is etc.
Etc.
Yeah, etc. So if we look at the questions, how did the photos in the video change your thoughts or feelings in part 1 and 2? We discussed this already, right? About how looking at the trash versus the beauty, the one makes you feel a bit better than the other one. One makes you feel more at peace. How is the woman's voice or emotion different in part 1 and part 2? Did it change your thoughts or feelings? Let's start with you, Le. Did you notice the woman's change in her voice when she told the story? It's the same story. She read the same information. But did you notice the change in her tone of voice?
I like her voice. I hear slowly and
Did you notice during the video, so during part 1 and part 2, the words were the same, but the way that she said it was different, right? Mr. Dan, can you tell me how that made you feel? What did you feel about that? Did you feel the change?
Yeah. About part 1 and part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The woman voice in part 1 make me feel some people, and in part 2 he have some look like bad, so bad.
Yeah.
And
so, look, Anne, how do you feel about how the lady read the same text in part 1 versus part 2? Did you notice the difference?
I think the speech is not difficult. Not I think the same. It's the same.
So, what I noticed was, like you said, in part 1, she makes you almost inspired. by the beauty, and she makes you feel, and watching your faces while it was playing, I could see the change in your emotions, right? So the first part, you were all quite interested. The second part, it almost looked like you became sad, because she read this part 2 in a more emotional way. It was more, she read it in a more sad tone of voice, right? And this has changed our emotions about it. So there was something else I wanted to talk to you about bias. So I was talking about bias earlier, and here they mention that you must, many sources and diagrams, news. I used to work for a news agency. I was a TV producer and TV director for 13 years. And I worked for a news channel that was partly owned, he was a partner, with our president's son, the ex-president of South Africa. And that president is now in jail. He was a terrible, corrupt man, Jacob Zuma, but his son was my boss. And hello. I'm just telling the story, a quick story before we finish the class about bias and bias in media and in news. So I was saying, before I became a teacher, I worked in media. I was a TV producer and a TV director for 13 years. And I worked for a news agency, a news like HTV or VTV News, right? Something like that. But I worked in the middle of our presidential elections. So I went on tour and campaign with all the big politicians. I've met the presidents, I've had tea with the president and all of this. And the company I worked for, the 36% shareholder of the company was the president's son. And unfortunately, it became a channel of bias. So they would not allow you to say certain things against him as president or against anything of their government, which is no freedom of media, and it's bias. And that's why I don't work for them anymore, because this man was very, very corrupt. And I did a show and I allowed a guest to talk, and I didn't cut out a section that they spoke badly of, not of the president, but of one of the partners of the news channel, who was very corrupt. All of these people are in jail now, right, that I used to work for. But they said to me, go, you're fired, because I didn't allow, as a journalist, I believe in freedom of speech and good, clean, true news. I am unbiased. I don't believe you must say this because of a political agenda or, being forced to say things you don't believe in. That is bias. So I thought I'd share that little bit of information with you. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's lesson. So to wrap up, we've learned mainly about bias, but also about choices. We have the choice to go to a beautiful place. We have the choice to learn the different lessons that you can learn in these different environments. And it's your choice to have freedom of speech and to believe what you want to believe in. And I hope that with that list of vocabulary, that you learned some new words: profound, extraordinary. Your pronunciation is now spot on. Well done, Dan. And I hope that you guys had a good class. I also had a Kahoot, but our introduction took a little bit longer. So next time, have you guys ever played Kahoot before? No? It's an online game. It's like a quiz game. It's amazing. And I always use this just to lighten up the class mood a little bit and have a little bit of fun. So next lesson, there we can play a Kahoot on the next unit.
Okay.
And I hope that you guys had a good lesson. And I will
Thank you.
I will
Thank
see
you.
you.
Thank you.
I'll see, next week, I believe Thursday night. Right? Next week, Thursday.
Yeah.
That's
Thursday.
it. Yeah, Thursday. I will see you again.
Yeah. See you
Okay.
later.
Good night.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Good night,
Thank you,
teacher.
teacher.
You're welcome. Take care.
Take care.